Back inside Hopkins High School, Edina and the Royals, our featured matchup on the Fox 9 Prep Game of the Week. Glad you can make us a part of your Tuesday night. Matt Dean here alongside Curtis Jolin. Remember to follow us on YouTube, Fox 9's YouTube channel. We're here every Tuesday covering a different high school winter sports matchup here all throughout the season. A little bit of hockey, a little bit of hoops, boys, girls, we do it all, and we've got a great matchup on tap here as second-ranked Hopkins look to extend a 12-0 start to the season, and Edina on the road looking for a big upset here in the Lake Conference opener for these two programs. Hopkins, who last season went 23-6, 9-3 in the league, finished second in the Lake Conference, but it was the second year in a row that the Royals came up short in terms of getting to the state tournament. They have finished as runner-ups to Wayzata in that really tough Section 6 4A the last couple of years. The Edina Hornets, in the meantime, they lost to Wayzata a round earlier in the semifinals. They went 8-4, finishing just behind Hopkins at third in the conference. So the Wayzata Trojans, they've been the class of this conference, but these two teams last year, the ones nipping at their heels right behind them in the Lake at second and third place. This will be the first game in the Lake Conference slate for these two teams. We'll give you a brief look here at the starting lineups when we come back. We've got the national anthem first. We'll step aside here in our Fox 9 Prep Game of the Week.
There are lots of reasons to want a big backyard. At Truestone Home Mortgage, we all agree dog birthday party is at the top. Great home loans, expert help, and a focus on what matters to you. It's true, because we're Truestone.
It's not just any day. It's your day off. A chance to reset, to recharge. A day to lace up, stretch out, and dive into what ignites your soul. This day is all about you, living life at your summit.
A good neighbor would give you a cup of sugar if you asked. At Truestone Financial, we don't have any sugar, but we will give you up to $350 when you switch to a Truestone checking account. It's true, because we're Truestone.
Welcome back into Hopkins High School here at the Royals Athletic Complex. Lake Conference opener on tap here in boys basketball. The second-ranked Royals coming in 12-0, unbeaten to start the season. The Royals' best start to a season in 9 years, and their best start since that 20-0 run to begin the 2015-16 team. Hopkins checking in at number 2 in the Class 4A state rankings. They trail only Cretin-Durham Hall, who are 11-0 to start the year, the only other unbeaten team in Class 4A. The Royals became the first team to reach 12 wins when they knocked off Eden Prairie 104-76 on Friday. It was the second game in a row and the 6th time this season that the state's leading offense eclipsed triple digits on the season. Edina, in the meantime, headed in a little bit of a different direction. They're 5-6. They played on Saturday, so a little bit less rest for the Hornets, where they fell 64-89 to Pewaukee High School out of Wisconsin. Edina have dropped 3 of their last 4, come in with a 5-6 record, all of that in non-conference play, and going right into the teeth of their Lake Conference schedule here against the second-ranked Hopkins Royals, who finished second in the conference and second in their section to the Wayzata Trojans last year. Matt Dean with you here, our Fox 9 Game of the Week. Curtis Jolin is our camera operator. We're just about set for basketball here in the Royals Athletic Complex. Should be a good one as these two teams go head-to-head. They split their pair of meetings last season. Hornets won a 75-69 game on January the 16th in Edina. The Royals bounced back to beat them 69-59 in the February 9th rematch here in Hopkins. These two teams meeting once again here and for the first time in the 24-25 season. Before that win last year by Edina, Hopkins had won 9 straight in the series over Edina. The Hornets come out with Vinnie Cronin and Mason Mose, a junior and a sophomore. Senior Billy DeMars, who we highlighted in our open, is the senior guard and leading scorer for this Hornet squad. Adrian Miller, who's played well off the bench, gets the nod as a starter wearing 21. The tip is up. Cronin wins the drop. And Edina attacking to the court to our right here gets us started in the offense and underway here in Hopkins. Gus Carpenter's the other starter out there, wears the number 22 shirt for the Hornets. 6'3" junior wing. He hands it off there. Try off the left wing there by Billy DeMars. And an offensive rebound and a putback from Vinnie Cronin doesn't go. 2 shots for the Hornets come up empty. Hopkins running the floor, and Davey Hart couldn't finish in transition. The word transition, we're going to say it a lot here as Anthony Smith comes up with the steal, lays it up, alley-oop tip. Does not go there for the Royals that time. Up ahead to Cronin, who tries to slow it down here for Edina. Anthony Smith with that miss at the rim for Hopkins, who get up and run. And maybe we should say that was Jaden Moore, number 2, who couldn't finish around the 10. Little layup there from Carpenter. It's one and done this time for the Hornets. Moore will flip it off, work it around to Smith. He Euro steps in for the corner. Nice little touch pass here by Hopkins. They work it in, a fadeaway shot by J.J. Semenko, no good. Both teams cold to start the day. 0 for 5 combined shooting between these two teams, as we're 90 seconds into the contest here in Hopkins. And a foul underneath here for our first stoppage. 16:29 left to go here in the first half. Matt Dean with you here, our Fox 9 prep game of the week. Hopkins, there's Edina, tries from distance again. Mason Mose can't get the 3 on the second effort after the offensive board. Billy DeMars doesn't get the shot from distance to drop. Here pushing is Semenko, flips it off, trailer 3. Oh, the bank's open for Ahmed Noor, and that's how it's been going for the sophomore lately. 3 straight games in double figures, and he's coming off a season-high 26 on Friday against EP. Cronin, the shot might have been partially blocked on the other end, and now Hopkins gets it up. A 3-0 lead for the Royals. Here's Smith for a triple. Back-to-back threes here for Hopkins. That'll prompt a timeout from head coach John Bryant on the Edina end. We'll hit our first break here with 15:49 left to go in the first half. Back in 30 seconds here on Fox 9's YouTube page.
It's not just any day. It's your day off. A chance to reset, to recharge. A day to lace up, stretch out, and dive into what ignites your soul. This day is all about you, living life at your summit.
Back at Hopkins, 6-0 Royals with a couple of made threes from Ahmed Noor and Anthony Smith. Head coach John Bryant in his 3rd season with Edina calling timeout. His team get it up the floor quickly to Vinnie Cronin, hand it off here to Billy DeMars, and then flip it up high to Mason Mose with the Hornets working. Little bullet pass inside. Nice dip off down low by Carpenter, but no finish. Carpenter on the follow, though, is fouled. And Edina, first foul of the game here from either team, will earn a trip to the free throw line. They're going to get J.J. Semenko with the infraction there for Hopkins. Carpenter at the line, a 9.1 per game scorer, knocks one through at the free throw line and gets Edina on the board 6-1. Junior wing listed at 6'3", playing in his 2nd varsity season. And Carpenter with a couple of foul shots, but Edina still without a made field goal where they're 0 for 4 from the floor. That one nearly forced free by DeMars. They get it down low, and Noor finishes around the 10. 5 early points for the sophomore, who had come in scoring 51 points his last 2 games coming in. A steal here by the Royals and a finish around the basket for Jaden Moore. Moore averages 16 a game, number 2. There's a dunk on the other end. Vinny Cronin in transition with the flush, and Edina with an immediate answer. We talked with head coach John Bryant a bit before the game, and he said, here's a step-back 3 for Smith. He was left open, couldn't hit it. He said Edina probably going to try most of the night to try to slow it down a little bit and keep this Hopkins team from playing at the blistering pace they want to. But that doesn't mean you can't find your moments to run in transition. Oh, missing the dunk here for Hopkins. And he was going up and hanging on the rim, but left the ball behind him. That was number 11, Davey Hart, with the missed dunk. 10-4. Hopkins has the lead. I thought he hung on the rim too much. They're going to give him a technical foul. You're allowed to dunk in high school basketball. There was a time when you weren't, but you can't hang on the rim like that. And Davey Hart, I think he was a little bit upset that he missed the dunk and then kind of hung on the rim a little too long dejectedly. So it opens the door here for Edina. Some foul shots here on the technical free throws, and they'll get the ball back. DeMars hits them both for the Hornets. And it is a 10-6 game as we have not yet played 4 minutes here in the Royals Athletic Complex in Hopkins. Into Carpenter, hands it right back off here to Billy DeMars. DeMars nearly got stripped, able to lay it off. Cronin tries from 3, offline, no good. Hornets still without a made 3. Nearly 4 minutes gone as Semenko dishes back off, and now the point guard, Jaden Moore, settling things down here for Hopkins. Moore flips it right back to his backcourt partner, receives the return pass inside. Noor, the tough turnaround fadeaway. Good defense played there by Vinny Cronin. Good battle of bigs there. Cronin, the 6'7" sophomore wing, matching up with the 6'9" 10th grader Noor. And Edina will get it here into their front court. 13 and a half minutes, a little over that left to play here first half. Mose off to Carpenter. Carpenter, the handoff into the 3 for DeMars. Cash for Billy DeMars. DeMars with 5 of the 9 here for Edina. And a nice run here put together by the Hornets. Dancing attack of the basket there. A whistle as Anthony Smith was driving down the lane. They're not going to give him the bucket. Foul, they'll say, was before the act of shooting. Well, not before the act of shooting, but before the shot. They won't give him the continuation. Oh, they are. The basket is good. 12-9. And finishing off the three-point play there is Smith, who now has 6 of the 13 here for Hopkins. Tried to jump the passing lane. They got it up to Cronin. Quick kick out for a 3. Miller too strong, but a rebound pulled down by Carpenter. DeMars tries again, partially blocked, and now Hopkins can run. They get it up and throw it away, trying to get it to Davey Hart. Rebound by the Hornets, up through to Mose. He runs in transition. That's going to be a goaltend. They hit the bottom of the rim and jostled it free. Will Newberg will check into the game now here for Edina. So give that bucket to Mason Mose on the goaltend. 13-11. Hornets trail by 2. Into the lane on the kick out there was Smith. He's fouled. They'll give that one to Gus Carpenter. Second team foul on the Hornets, first for Carpenter. And a quick inbound here by Hopkins. Smith with the layoff, trying to find Noor inside. Batted out of bounds here by Cronin underneath the baseline. Hopkins 12-0 start, their best in the program's history in 9 years. They're the one of just 2 remaining undefeated teams in Class 4A. Smith with a miss, and Edina will get into their half court here on the other end. Cretin-Durham Hall are ranked number 1 in the state, just ahead of Hopkins. They're 11-0 to start the year entering the week. Here's a try from 3. Cronin way offline. And the Royals strongly pulling in the rebound. They get it up in a hurry. Here's Hart trying for the left wing. No. One and done go the Royals. But a jump of the passing lane here by Hart. Flips it up for an easy 2. 12 minutes left to go. 15-11 Hopkins. And they get back-to-back steals. Here's Hart flipping up once again into the hands of his point guard Moore. Hart passes up the 3, drives inside, the kick out. Smith from the corner tried to no-look pass it, but Newberg read it and forced the takeaway. When you talk with Ken Novak and hear some of his comments about the way the team's played, they are averaging 98 points per game. Here's a try from 3, knocked down. Will Newberg with the triple to bring Edina back within 1. The Hornets went down 6-0 early and have not held a lead at any point. Corner 3, splash. Anthony Smith to 9 for the Royals. Coach Novak, you'll hear him talk about it. The defense has been the calling card for the Royals. You wouldn't think of it initially from a team leading the state with 98 points per game, but so much of what they do is because of the turnovers they force, leading to easy buckets in transition. It's a good three-point shooting team, but they are certainly not reliant on the 3, hitting it at a 36% clip and only averaging about 8 made threes per game, which is not a huge mark. But so much of what they get is from that defensive pressure. Here, Edina having some trouble with the pressure. They get it out to the open perimeter shooter, and they needed that. Vinny Cronin couldn't hit it. Up the way goes Hopkins, 4-point lead, 10:45 left to play. Down low, the big man is Julius Ellis. Ellis getting Hopkins here to 20. Senior listed at 6'6", comes off the bench for head coach Ken Novak. They'll call a travel there on Billy DeMars, and Edina gives it up. Ken Novak's in his 25th season at the helm of Hopkins. He is about 20 wins shy, roughly, of reaching 1,000 career wins as a head coach. He started out at Blaine. Most of that has come the last 25 years at Hopkins. Where he's turned them into one of the true powers in the state. J.J. Semenko with the last made 3 here for Hopkins. 23-14 the lead for the Royals. They force another takeaway. Easy bunny under the basket, and that'll be in from Moore. Tyson Moore, the 6-foot senior guard wearing number 4. Gets in on the action. Royals with some changes here to the lineup at that last stoppage. You got 3 Moores to keep track of on this Hopkins team. And I believe all 3 of them are out there right now. Is that number 1 Trey Moore guarding, as that one misses from Will Newberg. Yep, we've got all 3 Moore brothers on the field. Here's Trey. Flips it out to Tyson Moore, worked around. Here's Trey Moore again. All the Moore brothers touching the basketball, but Trey couldn't get that one to drop. Trey owes his older brother a soda for missing him an assist there. Thrown away, stolen by Jaden Moore. 9:20 left to go here in the first half. Moore flips. Trey Moore can't finish. The freshman no good. The pressure from Hopkins suffocating right now to Edina, but the Royals have left some points on the board. It's still a commanding lead for Hopkins, 25-14, as they'll give the foul there to Jaden Moore, number 2, and that's going to be the juniors first. Edina will keep the basketball here with 9:15 left to go. This is the type of game where there is a shot clock. You don't really have to pay attention to it so far, the way these two teams are playing at a good clip. Newberg with the last miss underneath the basket. Both teams have hit a little drought here the last minute or two. Tyson Moore with it up high, finds Trey Moore. The free throw jumper is offline there for the Royals. J.J. Semenko shrugging his shoulders, couldn't knock down the decent look. 8:40 left to go. Owen Myers in off the bench. Another jump of the passing lane. Over and back called off as that one got batted through by Semenko. Almost a steal. Another one there for Hopkins. Up to Meyer. Kicks out. Trailer. Newberg cash from distance. Will Newberg with 6 early points, both on made threes. 8:20 to go. And it's keeping Edina hanging around in this one, back within single digits. Tyson Moore passed up the three. Jaden touched it along to Semenko. Semenko out here to Trey Moore. Dishes it off here to Tyson. Moore, no good on the 3 ball. And a good rebound there by Julius Ellis. And he's fouled after hauling in the board. I think they're going to get Gus Carpenter. Now they'll actually get Adrian Miller, which will be the sophomore's first. Both teams with 3 fouls up on the board, and Julius Ellis, who's got 2 points here so far for Hopkins at the line, he'll miss the first of the 2 foul shots. Ellis is senior, playing in his 2nd varsity season for Coach Novak and the Royals. Last year averaged 5.5 off the bench. He's averaging about 3 a game right now, 10 games played of the 12 for Hopkins this year. Ellis goes 1 for 2 and has 3 for the Royals. Into Mose. Cuts it up the floor and slows it down. Edina's playing quick, but finding their moments to try to settle this game down and just get away from this suffocating pressure. A little zone look here by Hopkins. They played for most of the night. And they work it around here to number 23, Ben Rabishki. Junior off the bench comes in and knocks down a triple. As dominant as Hopkins have been for stretches, it's a 2-possession game. Here's a try in and out as the cold slump continues for the Royals. Tyson Moore that time couldn't get it to drop. Out to Newberg. Passes with it to Mose on the baseline. Mose, an ill-advised pass taken away here by Trey Moore, who pushes for the Royals. Moore can't finish. Rebound to Miller. And I believe this is going to go here to Edina after the miss by Moore, and it looked like they initially had an offensive rebound. 26-20, it remains a 6-point game, 7:08 left to go. Hopkins raced out to a 6-0 lead. At one point, led by double digits. And Edina has not held an advantage at any point in this first half so far. Matt Dean with you here, our Fox 9 prep game of the week. Late conference opener here between 2nd-ranked Hopkins, looking to extend a 12-0 start to the season. Bested in the last decade only by a 20-0 start that Hopkins had back 9 years ago. They won a state title that year. Oh, what a finish. Anthony Smith attacking the basket. Gets the foul, and he'll go to the line. It'll go against Newberg, number 11's first, the junior for Edina. Smith with a chance at his 2nd old school 3-point play. He's got the new school shot made from beyond the arc as well. Smith, the leading scorer in this game from both teams with 11 right now on the day. He's the lead scorer for Hopkins this year, averaging just south of 25 a game. He is just about to his scoring average, a little bit ahead of pace with 12 here with 6.5 to go. Still first half from the Royals Athletic Complex. Mose too strong on the 3. Nearly a rebound there for Miller, but Hopkins bats it down and controls. Up ahead to Smith. Works it along here to Hart. Cross-court pass there, a little bit dangerous, but they keep it. Smith feeling it, and lit on the rim that time as he couldn't knock down the deep 3. Another look for the Royals. They try to skip it back out to Smith. Stolen away by DeMars. Here comes Edina. 6:15 left to go in the first half, and the Hornets down by 9. Rabishki back to DeMars. Pitches it, far side corner, Mose. He's taken a lot of threes from that spot. 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. 1 of 4 with a made 2 overall. Here's Noor. Cashes in on the other end. 8 points for Ahmed Noor, and the sophomore blossoming into stardom here before our eyes in Hopkins. Coming off 2 monster games and carrying that over from last week into this week. DeMars with a miss on the other end for Edina. Look at that shiftiness from Smith. As then he works it back out here to the edge. Trey Moore carves it out. Hart with the 3, and he drills it. Davey Hart with his second made bucket. 5 points for the 6'5 senior. Edina, desperate heave up on the other end for an answer. Quick shot taken by John Bryant's team in Newburgh. It's 35-20, largest lead for Hopkins, extended by a couple more. Ahmed Noor to double figures here in the first half. 37-20, Royals lead it, and a timeout with 5:06 left to go here in the first half. You're watching the Fox 9 Prep Game of the Week here on YouTube.
A good neighbor would give you a cup of sugar if you asked. At Truestone Financial, we don't have any sugar, but we will give you up to $350 when you switch to a Truestone checking account. It's true, because we're Truestone.
There are lots of reasons to want a big backyard.
At Truestone Home Mortgage, we all agree dog birthday party is at the top.
Great home loans, expert help, and a focus on what matters to you.
It's true, because we're Truestone.
And the Royals have opened up their largest lead of the night so far, a 17-point swing right now for Edina to try to overcome. 5:06 left to play here in the first half. This is Matt Dean welcoming you back here into our Fox 9 Prep Game of the Week. Glad to be with us here from Hopkins High School tonight. Every Tuesday we're at a different spot around the Twin Cities, bringing you the Fox 9 Prep Game of the Week. This week a good one is second-ranked second-ranked Hopkins try to extend a 12-0 start to the season. Hornets called for a travel and they give it up. You can't afford to give up any unforced errors against this Hopkins team, who are going to force you into a lot more than just that in terms of turnovers. Oh, little turnaround from Ahmed Noor, a guy who's shooting the ball as well as anybody in the state in the last week. We said 77% from the floor for Noor over the previous 2 games, where he averaged over 25 in a couple of wins where Hopkins dropped 100+ in back-to-back games, Wednesday at Waconia and Friday against EP. Noor out to a similarly efficient start. Vinny Cronin, not quite the touch around the rim. Noor has a dozen, which is tied for Anthony Smith for the most on Hopkins. Smith nearly retook the lead there with the corner triple, but left it a little bit short. 4.5 minutes left to go in the first half. DeMars carves it across to Miller, gets it back up top to the top of the key, flipped off by Cronin, stepping into a 3. Miller hits it from distance. Adrian Miller, the sophomore wing. When we talked with head coach John Bryant before the game, he was one of the players that he said has been standing out for Edina as of late off the bench, and Miller getting the start here tonight in Hopkins, and delivers with his first made shot. Deep 3, no, from Jaden Moore from beyond the arc. And a whistle on that battle for the rebound after the play. No foul. They'll just reset here underneath the baseline. Both teams with the fouls to give. Both are still 3 away from getting into bonus territory, so 2 to give for both. Edina gives it up. 3 minutes, 39 seconds left to go. A 39-23 lead for Hopkins, led by a dozen apiece from sophomore Ahmed Noor and senior Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith taking it up the floor here for this possession. They get it inside to Moore. And an offensive foul here, I believe, called on Hopkins. Well, they're not going to announce a foul. They turn it over, and Edina has it here. DeMars passes it through the pressure to get it to Carpenter. Tries to return it to him. Batted out of bounds there by Hart. It'll stay on this Edina end with 3:16 left to go. The Hornets are 5-6. They've dropped 3 of their last 4 entering conference play, which is a real slog in this late conference. Carpenter misses. Here's the schedule for Edina. I know it's still first half. We're not getting ahead of ourselves, but just it is going to get even more challenging as this run continues. Anthony Smith with his 3rd make, where he finishes through the contact and gets the foul call. 14 points for Smith and a chance at his 3rd 3-point play with the and one here. Smith has scored at least 15 in all 12 games for Hopkins this year and make it 13 as he gets to 15 before halftime to lead the Royals in scoring here about 16 minutes in. 42-23 is the Hopkins lead. 2:52 left to play here in the first half. Smith is a really good player, 6-foot senior guard. At the moment, it doesn't sound like he has any Division I offers, but in this era of the transfer portal, a lot of guys with 5th-year eligibility, there's a lot of really good players in high school now who just don't go direct to the D1 route like we're used to in the past. You got to kind of readjust. Smith is not an overwhelmingly huge size guy, but you figure might have a chance to play college basketball somewhere and work his way up. The triple just doesn't roll there for the Hornets. And up the floor go Hopkins. No-look pass attempt from Jaden Moore, trying to find the backdoor cutter. That was Smith, who we were just talking about, leading Hopkins with 15 so far. Hit off a Hornet hand, and they'll get it in quickly. Semenko with the fadeaway. 5 points for Semenko, the 6'5 senior wing. He's just got a pure shot and showed it off there. Nice job to bounce it up the floor to Adrian Miller. And a foul called here against Hopkins as they went up and fouled Miller hard. Believe they're giving it to, we'll wait to see for the announcement. Goes against Jaden Moore, 2nd for the junior, and sends Adrian Miller to the line. 3 points for Miller as he heads to the line for the first time and knocks that one down from the stripe. And it's a 3-point play for Adrian Miller. Good crowd on hand here at the Royals Athletic Complex. Hopkins, they got the kind of side-by-side courts. They can have up to 4 games running at once, I believe, when you put up all the dividers. They often host the Tip-Off Classic, which is kind of the unofficial start of the high school basketball season in Minnesota here every year. Step back 3, offline for Smith. Minute 20 left. Hopkins gets the ball back after a DeMars miss. And quickly down the floor goes Davey Hart. 7 points for him. All 5 starters for Hopkins, Moore, Smith, Hart, Semenko, and Noor, all average double figures, as there's a 3-pointer drilled by Mason Mose. His first after an 0-for-3 start from beyond the arc. 46-29. It cuts away what was briefly a 20-point lead for the Royals. Hart off the left wing, yes. Davey Hart becomes the 3rd Royal to double figures here tonight. So now you're looking at Moore and Semenko to catch up as the 2 starters that average double figures and haven't hit that yet here in the first half. 20 seconds left to play. Edina could hold for the last shot. They'll try to force it inside. Bad pass from Carpenter. Miller almost gave it up. They're going to call it jump ball, and Hopkins has the possession arrow here. And now the basketball with 15.9 seconds left to go here till the break. 49-29. Hopkins by 20 here in the first half, and well on their way to making it a 13-0 start to the season. We were talking about how tough this Lake Conference is. Wayzata right now, who have, remember, beaten Hopkins the last 2 years in the playoffs, they're ranked 4th in the state. STMA are ranked 7th, and those are the next two opponents Edina have to play back-to-back after tonight. That'll be Friday and then Tuesday of next week. Semenko, a little turnaround jumper, the soft touch to get the roll. Semenko's 3 shy of double digits. Edina almost hits the half-court heave at the whistle. 51-29, a 22-point lead for the Royals as they open up their biggest advantage of the game right before halftime. All Royals here in the first half. As we step aside here and take a break, this is the Fox 9 Prep Game of the Week. Following along here on YouTube, I'm Matt Dean. We'll be back in a bit to break down the first half action here in Hopkins. Back after this here on Fox 9's YouTube page.
What's your big picture?
To fix my fixer-upper.
To enjoy carefree condo life.
To make it our own.
To make more room.
If a great home is in your big picture, First Bank & Trust can help you navigate buying, building, or remodeling with local mortgage experts who make it easy.
To give Hazel a big backyard.
Find out how First Bank & Trust makes home buying easier at bankeasy.com.
It's not just any day. It's your day off. A chance to reset, to recharge. A day to lace up, stretch out, and dive into what ignites your soul. This day is all about you, living life at your summit.
There are lots of reasons to want a big backyard. At Truestone Home Mortgage, we all agree dog birthday party is at the top. Great home loans, expert help, and a focus on what matters to you. It's true, because we're Truestone.
It's not just any day. It's your day off. A chance to reset, to recharge. A day to lace up, stretch out, and dive into what ignites your soul. This day is all about you, living life at your summit.
A good neighbor would give you a cup of sugar if you asked. At Truestone Financial, we don't have any sugar, but we will give you up to $350 when you switch to a Truestone checking account. It's true, because we're Truestone.
It's not just any day. It's your day off. A chance to reset, to recharge. A day to lace up, stretch out, and dive into what ignites your soul. This day is all about you, living life at your summit.
What's your big picture?
Creating an experience that brings you back.
To continue the family legacy.
To make a difference against ovarian cancer.
Launching dental practices through franchising.
If business success is in your big picture, First Bank and Trust simplifies banking so you can stay focused on what matters most.
Building opportunities for tomorrow's leaders.
Find out how First Bank and Trust makes growing your business easier at bankeasy.com.
It's not just any day. It's your day off. A chance to reset, to recharge. A day to lace up, stretch out, and dive into what ignites your soul. This day is all about you, living life at your summit.
Back here at Hopkins High School, the Royals opening up a 22-point lead, 51-29 at the break. Second half about to get underway. I'm Matt Dean. Welcome you back into our Fox 9 prep game of the week. Leading scores for Hopkins, they got 15 from Anthony Smith in the first half, a dozen from Ahmed Noor. Davey Hart, the other starter that got the double figures before the break, with 10. Hopkins shooting 50%, a little better than that from the floor, where they were 20 of 39, 7 of 15 from three, dialing it up from downtown at a 47% clip. Edina not shooting horribly at 29%. They were about the same, 6 of 21 from three, but succumbing to that intense full court pressure the Hopkins throw at you all half long. The turnovers, the problem for the Hornets in the first half. 51-29, big gap to cut into here for this young Edina team. Adrian Miller working back to the basket, tries to face up Semenko, and they're going to call a turnover here on Edina. Off-ball foul, I think. So given up by the Hornets. Must have been a 5-second call. And Hopkins into their offense for the first time. Thrown away nearly by Smith. And that almost dropped on the fortuitous carom. Back out to Jaden Moore. Noor casts off for a triple on the second attempt. No dice. Here's DeMars breaking the press. Cutting is Cronin. Baseline jumper, no. For Edina, they got 6 points apiece from Will Newberg and Adrian Miller. DeMars and Mose had 5 each, the other leading scorers. There's DeMars throwing it away from the baseline. And pushing and showing off that good speed is Anthony Smith the other way. Smith was 17. He's got terrific chemistry. Him and Jaden Moore, perhaps the best backcourt in the state. Those two guards, Jaden number 2 and Anthony Smith number 3. Leading scorers who combined for 40 a game between the two of them. A couple of hesitations under the basket and a nice finish by Gus Carpenter. And the Hornets on the board here in the second half. 53-31, as these two teams have both matched buckets here out of the break. 3 by Semenko, yes. J.J. Semenko, the 4th Royal to double figures. That triple gets him to 10 on the nose. And at 56-31, this is the largest lead that Hopkins has had, but Mason Mose cutting into that big deficit on the other end there with a 3. Mose had 5 in the first half, as we mentioned, his second made triple. A try from downtown, and Davey Hart casts off, hitting his 3rd triple. And both teams trading threes, fast and flying here to start the second half. A reach in and a foul here to get Carpenter. And that'll go against J.J. Semenko. Second personal foul on the senior who wears number 12 for Hopkins. Neither team got into the bonus in the first half. That's the first foul from either team here in the half. Trying to tip it in was Carpenter. And even with a big lead, love to see the hustle there from Anthony Smith. Good player. Here he's out to Semenko. Semenko hits his second 3 in a row. 13 for J.J. Semenko. He's been to double figures now in all 13 games for Hopkins. He's gone off for 20 plus a couple of times. Good spin by Cronin. and tips in his own miss. And Edina with a steal. They get it right back here, and Cronin tries to hit the trailer three and does. Well, back-to-back buckets for Cronin. One at the tin and then one coming back into the front court after he was getting back on defense. Here's another steal taken away by DeMars. He gets stripped. Returning the favor was Hopkins. Semenko with a heat check three. No, after the Moore steal. But Hopkins still has it here on this end. And Noor had it partially blocked there by Cronin. Quick cast off by the Hornets. Billy DeMars hits the three-pointer. And it's 62-40. Still a healthy lead here for the Royals. Trying just off the corner there, Moore. And Jaden Moore can't hit. See a couple of subs come on. Trey Moore is going to come in and tap out Anthony Smith. And then Adrian Miller sits as Will Newberg, the 6'1 junior guard who had 6 points in the first half. Where's number 11? Comes in for Edina. John Bryant's the head coach of the Hornets. It's his third season as the head coach there. He was an assistant at Park Center before that. He was on their staff when the Pirates won the 2022 state championship. Vinny Cronin has the last 7 for Edina. Here in the second half, 62-44. You hear the noise being made from the Hornet bench. That's a good sign of the culture that Coach Bryant's creating over at Edina. Long three from Jaden Moore doesn't go. Even in this boat race of a game right now going Hopkins' way, they're still hooting and hollering for their team. Jaden Moore with a strip and the bucket, and a quick steal as Moore tries to go back-to-back and does. The cheers were loud for Edina. They were louder for the home side Royals. Moore with 4 points in the blink of an eye. A bucket, a steal, and Hart dished it right back to Moore, who made a second consecutive basket. 66-44. As Hopkins got out to a 22-point lead at the half and have kept the Hornets at an arm's length here so far. Nearly 5 minutes played into the second stanza. Handling the point guard duties is Jaden Moore. Pump fake on the three. They'll get it out. This is Trey Moore on the score sheet for Hopkins. And Big Bro with the little no-look assist, skipping it to the freshman. Trey Moore is a good athlete. Both his brothers, big contributors in the basketball team. Trey Moore was the freshman quarterback for the Hopkins Royals on the football field this past fall. Hopkins have had some lean years in the gridiron, which is just behind us outside here, the Royals Athletic Complex, but 3 wins last year, a big deal for a Hopkins program who have struggled as of late. And Trey Moore, an exciting freshman quarterback. He passed for over 1,400 yards and was slinging the rock to his older brother Jaden on the football field this past fall. Edina has it on here with Newberg and then works it along here to Billy DeMars. DeMars to Carpenter, wild into the paint, but Edina able to hang on. Little lefty hook from Vinny Cronin. And Cronin is the first Hornet to reach double figures here for Edina. He's got 11. 12 minutes left to play. Arced out here to Tyson Moore. They swing it back around. Good ball movement to get it inside to Semenko. Usually has that touch around the rim in the mid-range game, but not that time. Up ahead to Cronin. Hesitates and scores. Cronin's had a terrific second half. 11 of his 13 have come since the break. 69-48, still a big lead to overcome, and it's getting bigger. Tyson Moore with the three that time for Hopkins. Cronin works it out high. This is number 10, Owen Meyer, who threw it away for Edina. Up ahead to Jaden Moore. Circus shot, no. Trailer in for the rebound was Trey Moore. And the three-pointer doesn't go as well, too. A couple of offensive rebounds. And look, Hopkins plays hard. They are up 20-plus right now. And I don't know if the Royals even have looked at the scoreboard here in the second half. They're playing like it's a close game. And you see why this team so consistently are breaking 95-plus. They're averaging 98 a game this year. Highest in the state of any team at any class level. There's not even a Class A team playing up in the sticks in northern Minnesota. They're scoring 98 a game. It's been unbelievable for Hopkins this year as the three hits the twine, but left short there by Owen Meyer. Right up the floor, and that's how you score 98 a game. In the blink of an eye, the ball's up the length of the floor. Tyson Moore with the finish that time. He's fouled and will go to the line for a chance at a three-point play. Vinny Cronin, no, they're giving it to 23, Ben Rabishki, the junior guard's first for Edina. Three-point play opportunity here for Moore, and he can't knock it through. The Royals were 4 of 5 from the charity stripe in the first half. Cronin, well, the game's getting out of hand, but he continues to produce here in the second half. 13 points since the break and 15 in the game for Edina. Another one underneath the basket. That's Tyson Moore. He's picked it up here since the break. 7 of his 9 have come in the second half. Edina breaks the pressure, get it through to Meyer. He's double teamed with that 2-3 zone the Royals have been playing for most of the night. Here's Meyer, casts off from 3 and hits. Owen Meyer joins the score sheet for the Hornets. Junior averages 3 a game and hits that average with a made 3. Left short on the three-point try there from Smith. Batted around and lost here by the Royals, and I think that's going to be our second goaltend of the game. Billy DeMars is the benefactor that time to get him to double figures. So a couple of subs. Anthony Smith will come back in. Davey Hart does as well here for Hopkins. You got Ellis, Tyson Moore, Davey Hart. Anthony Smith's barking for that basketball over in the corner. He was wide open. He finally gets it. Passed up here by Trey Moore, who's also out there. That's Davey Hart trying for the left wing, and it bounces over the backboard and out. So Hart, Ellis, 2 of the Moore brothers out there right now. You got Trey, number 1. Anthony Smith, the other. Here's Moore. Oh, tried to go with a no-look pass, and he threw it way out of the range of Anthony Smith. Smart play by DeMars there. It looked like knocked it off of Smith to get possession here for Edina. That's Jaden Moore guarding Billy DeMars. Leading scorer for Edina. Floats it through here to Newberg. Cast out to Ben Rabishki. Nearly gave it up as Hart will knock it out in that far side touchline. 9:06 left to go in the second half. 76-55. Royals have the lead. The lead's been as much as 24 tonight for Hopkins. DeMars the 3, no good. Here comes Smith and the Royals. On to Hart for 3, just offline. Stays with Hopkins here in this end, as they're going to get a foul here on Miller, second on the sophomore for Edina. Hopkins coming up. Both teams unusually are playing Wayzata next. The Trojans will play Friday as they host Edina. That's the 4th-ranked team in the state and the Lake Conference champions last year. played in the title game but fell to Minnetonka. And then they will play next Tuesday hosting Hopkins in what will be the Royals' next game after that. So both these teams' next opponent will be reigning Lake Conference champions Wayzata. Here's a try off the left wing, and that one knocked down from Will Newberg. He's got 3 threes for Edina. Head coach John Bryant and the Hornets are going to take a timeout. 76-58. Royals with this one well in hand with just over 8 minutes left to play here in the second half. This is the Fox 9 Prep Game of the Week on YouTube.
A good neighbor would give you a cup of sugar if you asked. At Truestone Financial, we don't have any sugar, but we will give you up to $350 when you switch to a Truestone checking account. It's true, because we're Truestone.
There are lots of reasons to want a big backyard. At Truestone Home Mortgage, we all agree dog birthday party is at the top. Great home loans, expert help, and a focus on what matters to you. It's true, because we're Truestone.
Back at Hopkins, 76-58, the Royals with the lead. Head coach John Bryant, former assistant coach in the state championship team of the Park Center Pirates. He is a 95 graduate of Armstrong High School. He played for head coach Dick Bennett at the University of Wisconsin, where he went to the Final Four in 2000 as a player with the Badgers. Got his coaching start as an assistant at Wayzata. As we mentioned, that'll be both Edina and Hopkins' next opponent. His old boss, Brian Schnettler, is still the head coach over at Wayzata. Schnettler has got a heck of a coaching tree. I think John Bryant is generally leading this Edina program in the right direction. A lot of great coaches that have stuck around the Twin Cities Metro. At one point were Wayzata assistant coaches. Here's Anthony Smith. Offline on the triple here for Hopkins. Rebound falls to Gus Carpenter. Jake Domin at Shakopee, Xander Culver at Eden Prairie, Josh Peltier at Eastridge. All former assistants of Schnettler, as that one rolled through by Mason Mose. Mose has 10 points tonight for Edina. Second Hornet to get to the 10-point mark. And all of a sudden, this is starting to get a little bit more intriguing. 15-point game with about 7:40 left to go all of a sudden. Hopkins needs to get cold. Edina needs to take way better care of the basketball against this suffocating defense. Nice backdoor cut. Smith, a silky pass to open up Trey Moore wide open. And Hopkins trying to put this game to bed here down the stretch. Full court pressure, Smith barreling in, almost had the steal, and then they're going to get Smith for the foul. Carpenter, he didn't make a smart move trying to cross the timeline, but the 6'3 junior, he made the smart play knowing, all right, I'm bigger than Anthony Smith, and he did a nice job using his body to shield the ball. Oh my goodness, I thought that was clean. They're going to give Carpenter the foul. I thought he just made a good play using the body to keep Smith away from the loose ball. They're going to call Carpenter for his third personal, and this is Hopkins basketball. I thought that was a good play for number 22, as that one is tipped in by Semenko nearly. Doesn't go for Hopkins, and Edina coughs it right back up. 7:06 left to go. Any positive swing that Edina takes, Ken Novak's Royals have punched back in a flurry. A lot of forced turnovers here tonight by Edina. They'll certainly have some ones they think they could have cleaned up in film after the game tonight, but this is just how you play Hopkins. You expect pressure all night, and it never stops. Royals coming off back-to-back games where they've scored 100 right out of the inbound. Another triple there for Anthony Smith. We've got Smith for 20 tonight, which is his 10th game scoring 20-plus. He's got to as many as 34 this season. Another steal. Moore is going to be fouled, and a reach-in by DeMars. Jaden Moore drawing the foul. DeMars, I believe that's going to be his first, number 5 in white for Edina. That is indeed the case. That's 4 on the Hornets here in the second half. 6:38 left to go as they get it in here to Jaden Moore. Couple of dribbles, gets it to Semenko, right back to Moore, kick out to the corner. Here's Smith, left open. Smith just offline on the 3. Noor with his signature fadeaway. Not quite there on the touch. And the pressure still coming here from Hopkins deep into the second half, even with the big lead. Going to the basket, DeMars with the silky glide to the rim. 12 points for DeMars, the leading scorer for Edina, averaging 18 a game entering play this season. Smith off the baseline feed from Hart. Backspout fear for Hopkins. We haven't even looked at the shot clock tonight. This is moving. Long 3, Semenko, it rattles home. J.J. Semenko with 16 tonight here for Hopkins. His 4th made 3, another steal, and that one rolling still. Jaden Moore, he couldn't get it to drop. Newberg with a rebound. Edina with some numbers up the floor. A little 2-on-2 rush. DeMars, no, off the left wing 3. Hopkins committing numbers forward on the other end. Smith with the hesitation. He's fouled. Almost had a chance to knock that one through. He's already got 3 and 1s tonight where he's finished off 3-point plays. This time he'll have to shoot the traditional 2 as he goes up to the line. That's the second on DeMars here, both in the last few minutes. Anthony Smith, 6-foot senior guard, still hearing college offers. Does not have a commitment yet for his basketball future. It's going to be somewhere. Started out as a kind of just 3-point specialist when he started playing varsity basketball for Hopkins as a freshman, developed into more of a true 3-level scorer. Averaging 24 a game on the season entering play. He's got 22 tonight after knocking down both of those free throws. Corner 3, splash from Mason Mose. 86-66. The Hopkins lead has been as much as 25 tonight. Smith on to Moore. Moore inside. Tried to flip one over Carpenter. And Noor cleans up the mess there to get him to 14. Ahmed Noor is the new emerging star at Hopkins. Semenko, the transition 3, drills it. 19 for J.J. Semenko. So Smith's got 22, Hart's got 13. Ahmed Noor has 14, and J.J. Semenko with a 19-piece. The four starters all into double figures. Mason Mose extends, cuts into the lead, we should say, for Hopkins there with a transition bucket. 91-68, and now with 4 minutes left to go, you're thinking, can Hopkins really score over 100 for the 3rd game in a row? It would be the 7th time this season Hopkins have reached triple digits. Ahmed Noor at the line of the chance to inch the Royals closer. Noor knocks that one through, and he's got 15. Noor played 3 games of varsity basketball last year. In the summer, the kind of early fall, before he had started his 2nd high school season at the varsity level, already got his first D1 offer, which came from Arizona State. 6'9" wing, he's one to follow on this Hopkins team. DeMars airballs the 3 on the other end for Edina. Miller will check in for Edina as he replaces Newberg. 10 in for 11 for the Hornets. 92-68. Right to the rim, Jaden Moore came up a little short. The state's leading offense averages 98 a game. Vinny Cronin fouled on his move to the basket. Big second half for the sophomore wing, listed at 6'7". He'll go to the line here. 13 of his team-high 15 for Edina have come here in the second half. This is his first trip to the foul line. Second varsity season for the 10th grader, averaging 11 a game. He has now scored 9, 14, 12, and now 16 in his last 4 games since coming back from an injury. He missed a few when he came out midway through the game against Lakeville South at home a few weeks back. Cronin goes 1 for 2 on that trip to the line, 92-69. Cronin looks healthy tonight, hasn't been enough for Edina. Out to Smith. Yes, Anthony Smith pouring him in for Hopkins here tonight. 25 points for the senior. As we said, his 10th game scoring 20 or more this season. Miller, cross court to Cronin. Step back 3 from the right wing, no. Tipped around here by Miller and able to knock it down here to control for the Hornets. Out to the corner, this is Mose. Left it short. Strong rebound there by Jaden Moore. Gets it up in a hurry here for Hopkins. And Anthony Smith always fighting for every bucket. He was mad for losing that one underneath the baseline. 95-69. The Hopkins lead. A little under 3 minutes for them to try to get to 100 for the 7th time this season. .246 to go as DeMars acting as the trigger, inbounds for Edina. Easy one underneath for Cronin. 18 points as his big second half continues. Edina, as we said, will be in action next Friday night at Wayzata. A triple here from Anthony Smith. That's 28 tonight for the senior. They will be at 7th-ranked STMA next Tuesday. Minnetonka, the reigning state champions, they will host at home next week, Friday. As Gus Carpenter rolls one through, he's got 6. And here's a dribble drive attack by Smith. Holding his ground, the defender, just kind of an awkward move to the air by Smith. Mose kind of didn't try to, unintentionally upended him. Smith's a little shaken up and taking a long walk back around the other side of the bleachers. Mose picks up the foul, his first for Edina. There's Smith. Where'd he go? He went back and got a drink of the water fountain. I thought he was heading down the tunnel and said, all right, I'm done. 2:06 left to go. He was just kind of walking off the bum leg that hit the floor hard. Now Smith's ready to take his foul shots. Next one would get him to 30 here tonight by our count. Anthony Smith, senior guard and leading scorer for Hopkins. It would be his second 30-piece of the season. He had 34 in a game earlier this year. It would be his fourth 30-piece of the season. He does that. 30 points for Anthony Smith. And his night likely done. Trey Moore comes on to replace him. Big hug from the end of the bench and a little high five from head coach Ken Novak and the Royals. They were leaving him in to try to chase 30. Smith does it. He's going to be done. Here's Ben Rubishki with it for Edina. Skip pass inside to Carpenter. Back to the basket. Kick out. Here's Miller. He hits the 3. I was pretty confident I had the point total right. When I saw Smith head to the bench like that with the hugs and the handshake, I said, my count is exactly right. I'm feeling it. Oh, and who else is feeling it? Jaden Moore with a triple. He's a point shy of double figures, 103. As Hopkins continue to put up eye-popping numbers here on the season. And the Royals, it'll be interesting to see if they can keep up this scoring clip as they enter the gauntlet that is the Lake Conference schedule. At Wayzata on Tuesday of next week. Thursday they'll be at 7th-ranked St. Michael, Albertville, and head out for that late conference trip. And then Minnetonka on Friday against the reigning state champions. That is not just the Lake Conference. That is maybe the 3 premier teams in the Lake Conference outside of Hopkins. They'll have their break next Saturday against the 5th-ranked team in Class 3A in De La Salle, another traditional Minnesota basketball power. 103-76 the score. Coasting to the rim is Gus Carpenter. A minute 15 left. Hopkins have their 100-point game in the bag. And they get it up here around the wheel. And some new faces into the game. This is number 14, Quinn Björkvad, who's entered for Hopkins. Rebound underneath by Julius Ellis with the miss. Also 34, yeah, we have Ellis out there. 14's Björkvad. There's a runner in there from Rubisky. And I believe everybody else, familiar faces we've already seen here for Hopkins. 32 is wearing a penny. We don't have a 32 on our roster. So Hopkins and head coach Ken Novak starting to empty the bench here inside the final minute. They've emptied the bench and gone even deeper than the bench, going off the roster sheet. Only starter remaining in the game. Well, there are none. That's Tyson Moore. I thought that was his brother, Jaden. 19 seconds. Hopkins can hang on to it here with the shot clock turned off. Well, they'll try from 3. Tyson Moore, no. And Edina up the other way. Cronin trying to put a capper on a big night for him. Less than 2 seconds to go as that bat's out of bounds into the visiting student section. A few Hornet faithful remain down there. Inside to Cronin, and that will take us to the end of regulation. Number 2, Hopkins extend their winning streak to 13 straight to open up the season. The 2nd-ranked team in the state flexing their muscles in the Lake Conference opener. They put up a 100-point performance for the 3rd consecutive game, and they top Edina to go to 13-0 on the season and get a great start out to this Lake Conference grind as we get into the league portion of the schedule for both of these teams. Hopkins 103, Edina 82 is the final here from the Royals Athletic Complex tonight. We'll step aside for a quick break, back in 60 seconds to recap the action here. Our Fox 9 Prep Game of the Week ends with a Hopkins Royals victory and a 13-0 start to the season for the Royals. Matt Dean back with you after this here on Fox 9 YouTube.